Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up? I forgot to put myself up on stage. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines and, most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And I say that before every single show. And what I mean by that is I only speak to transportation professionals on this show, as well as my twice a week long form podcast, because I want to talk to the right individuals who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve. So you can take that information, apply it, utilize it, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. Corey Buchan, happy Thirsty Thursday. What is going on, everybody? Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late there. I just finished up another call right prior to this. And as all of you know who tune into this show, I am not just a podcaster. I'm out here actually trying to build some companies up and making this shit happen every single day. Couple of notes before we jump in. We're going to be going live a little bit earlier than normal tomorrow. So we'll be actually going live at 8 a.m. Central Time tomorrow morning, because I'm going to be flying to Nashville tonight. SPI Logistics, that's who my agency is through, where they're doing their annual conference out there, and they call it Rendezvous in Nashville. So I'm flying out there, and I'm going to be going live early tomorrow morning with my man Mike Mikulik. And I'm really looking forward to it, right? Like, this is the first time that I'm going to this event. And I like it, you know, like SPI has been great. You know, obviously they've been a long time supporter of the show. And, you know, and then especially being able to have my brokerage through them, and now being able to go out there and meet with everybody and meet the other agents and other people at SPI who've been on my show before, and get to see them all in person, and spend a couple of days and really talk about where they're going as a company, right? Because it's like, you know, they like, with them being, you know, with me being an independent agent of them, like, they do all of my back office work. They provide all the technology that I need, right? So TMS, load boards, factoring, everything that we could possibly need is through them. So, you know, it's like, as somebody who's out here trying to bootstrap his way to, the next levels of business and everything, having a true partner like SPI behind the scenes to help us navigate and grow, because, you know, shit's expensive, right? Like, I've talked about this before, but, you know, like, we move more than just like standard dry van loads. So it's like, you know, there's times where we got to rent forklifts and, you know, prepay for forklifts and prepay for cranes and all of that stuff. And, you know, SPI takes care of all of that. Like, obviously we bill our customer for it, but we got to pay for that stuff up front. So it's like, if you're out there trying to conserve your cash flow and everything else, like, it's such a great setup. And, you know, and it's so clean, you know, the revenue split that's out there. And, you know, and of course, like, it's funny seeing everybody talk about the whole non-compete thing. Like, there's not an issue when you're an independent agent with SPI. They're like, I never signed a non-compete or a non-solicitor or anything like that, right? So it's like, it's cool. And I'm really looking forward to going out there and spending a couple of days with them. But also, one more thing, I got a newsletter. I'm going to bring this up a lot, you guys, because I want you guys to go over there and sign up for this. So, like, I recently hired a marketing guy. His name's Christian. Phenomenal. You know, he's really helping me step up my social media game and helping me do edits and getting stuff out there and growing my media presence. And so we started doing a newsletter. All right. So we have every Friday we do a weekly newsletter. It's all transportation industry focused at the end of the day. I got a bunch of email addresses, but I'm not going to go and auto sign everybody up for that. So if you guys want to get my unfiltered take, which, you know, a lot of you guys tune in every single day, this is just another avenue for you guys to check it out. So if you just go to thefreightcoach.com and register on there, it should prompt you right away just to sign up and register. That would be awesome, you guys. And, you know, I appreciate the support that you guys have shown me over the years, and the growing support. So that's just another avenue that we're doing out there. John Radvansky, the Rad Man in the house. Good morning, freight folks. He says, Nick, what is up? He says, let's go, Big Chris. Robert Cowton over on YouTube says, good morning. You are a highly motivated person. After a rendezvous, your wife will need to seatbelts on your chairs. You will be motivated. Yeah, man. She's staying back home. It's just me and Angelo, my business partner, who are coming out for this. But yeah, man, I'm ready, dude. I'm ready to see you as well, Robert. Quick reminder, you guys, International Road Check, May 14th through the 16th, you guys. So that is coming up here in a couple of weeks. So stay on top of it. International Road Check, May 14th through the 16th. Also, we got Cole Mikulik. What's up, man? Cole, are you in Nashville right now? Are you coming? What's up, man? I got to see you out there, brother. Also, you guys, diesel, the national average for diesel is at $3.94 a gallon nationwide. I wanted to bring that up. I haven't brought that up yet this week. But again, you guys, that's available on the EIA. EIA.gov is where I get all my fuel information on the national averages and everything else. So check it out, you guys, and see what is going on out there. But let me see here. Also, you guys, we're gonna go over some data here. Sonny Sharma, good morning, orange shirt freight freaks in the house. What is up? So my friends over at Green Screens, obviously up in the upper corner here, you guys, I use them to bid on all my freight and plan and everything that I do inside of my business to look out for all these trends. They sent me over some photos or some pictures to use, some graphs that they have all published out there. You guys, if you guys go over to greenscreens.ai/the freight coach, you can kind of get a unique way to go in there. You can get a demo through this as well, but it's going over the year-over-year trends. Let me pull this graphic up here, you guys. So as you can see, this is all on Green Screens, and we got all this data out here for year-over-year national carrier spot rate average market trends. All right, so we got van listed on here, got the reefer market listed as well as flatbed, and it trails back to 2018, right? So again, why is any of this information valuable when you're looking at this? My perspective is simple, you guys. A lot of you are operating in a reactive mindset of what today is doing, and you're completely disregarding where the market has been and where it's trending and where it could trend, right? So it's like if you're looking at right now, right, like you would think that the rates are going to continue to trend down and everything else, but that's just not the case. And you need to pay attention to where things are heading out here. And this breaks down on a regional basis as well. You guys, here in April, regional spot rates that are out there in the Midwest, Northeast. You guys know how the country works out there. But again, here's some great data for you guys to start breaking down. And then that's just for, oh, sorry, guys, I can't see. And then, yeah, here's a close up here on the reefer national spot rate average year over year. And again, this goes back to 2019 on that. And then the national spot rate trends and everything else that are going on. Oh, there's my friends at Denim. But again, you guys, this is all available on greenscreens.ai. Check it out, you guys. There's a ton of valuable information that's going on because, like the topic of all time right now is, when is the market going to shift? When are things going to get better for me? How can my life get easier and better? That's literally just kind of, I'm throwing in some of that stuff, but that's what the sentiment is almost every single day out there is when is it going to get better? When is it going to get easier? How do we work in this market right now? Kathleen Akins, what is up? She says, hey, everyone. But yeah, you guys. So I think at the end of the day, I've put my opinion out there enough on where the market is trending. And, again, John Rogers, he's been on my show in the past, and he commented, I saw him say something the other day about creating your own freight market. Right. And I've talked about that a lot because it's true. Right. So anybody out there, again, I'm actively selling. Okay. Literally making cold calls every day, sending sales emails every single day to shippers. Okay. Cold calling's not dead at all. Far from it. Site visits are very highly underutilized by the majority of you out there based on the feedback that I get from people when I ask them. And on top of that, you guys, what are you going to do? Are you just going to continue to tell people oh, it's just too hard out there to develop business? I've onboarded, I'm in the last week, I've onboarded 2 separate customers. All right. So tell me that they're not onboarding people. So just, again, that's not me trying to brag or anything like that, but you guys, there's business out there for the taking. You just have to put forth way more effort than a lot of the fucking headlines are putting out there about why is the market bad and everything else. The market's bad, from my opinion, because you guys aren't fucking doing your job. All right. Harsh reality. You guys, harsh reality. The market might suck for you because you're not doing your fucking job. You're not selling like you think you're selling. You're not doing what you think you're doing. We're telling ourselves this stuff, and I'm just as guilty of that, right? I've told myself, oh, it's this, it's that, and everything under the sun, until I stopped lying to myself and said, you know what, fuck it. It might be hard, but I'm going to go out there and just fucking go for it no matter what. Because my sales approach is simple, you guys. I'm not going out there and begging for business. I'm not even asking to quote stuff. It's a simple introduction. This is who we are. This is what we specialize in. This is what we like to run. Like an opportunity to sit down and speak with you at a future date. Because the reality is they might not be looking for anybody today, but everybody's so now, give me your freight, let me bid. You're working yourselves out of a lot of stuff, you guys. So again, this is just my direct feedback from somebody who makes cold calls every single day. All right. I don't theorize about making sales calls. I don't theorize about what I might do if I did a site visit. This is the shit that I'm fucking applying every single day, you guys, okay? This market is massive. I will literally continue to come up here and tell you guys what I'm doing because I want you guys all to fucking win at the end of the day, all right? I want you guys to win. There's a bunch of freight out here. And at the end of the day, if you guys somehow get in the door with one of my customers and perform better than me, I deserve to lose the fucking business. That's my perspective on shit. All right. And no, I'm not going to tell you who my customers' names are. You motherfuckers. I know where your head's going with this. Anyways, you guys, let's break down a couple of articles here. Appreciate you, big dog. Let's break down some articles here, you guys. Let's jump in. Damn. Sorry, I just got some really good news there. Not sales related, not just got a new customer, but anywho, getting back in it here. Let's break down some articles, you guys. This one came out last Saturday, and I've just been saving it because I've got a bunch of guests coming on. Because again, I'm trying to bring more guests on the live show, you guys, because at the end of the day, I really only like bringing on people who are actively like doing the shit, and I just think that there's just such a different perspective of having people who are actively in the day to day coming on here and doing it and telling you guys what they're doing to succeed in these markets. So, but this article is from FreightWaves, and it says abundant capacity is hiding freight pattern shifts. It says Dallas outbound tender volumes have grown approximately. Sorry, guys, I went to public school. Have grown approximately 50% over the past 5 years compared to the national average of 18%. The two largest outbound markets in the U.S., Ontario, California, and Atlanta, Georgia, have both lost significant share. The ongoing capacity glut is hiding a rather significant shift in national freight flow patterns. In a more balanced market, freight demand changes are discovered through isolated pockets of tightening where spot rates increase and carriers flock to cover the freight. In the current market, where supply is abundant, there is no tightening or increased rates as carriers are nearly sitting on the sides of the street ready to pounce. 5 years may sound like a long time, but in terms of supply chain infrastructure, it is relatively brief. The process of deciding where to place and then build warehouses and distribution centers takes years. The pandemic-fueled economic volatility has possibly created a sense of urgency. This is to say that a shift has completely rearranged in freight across from Ontario, California, down to Atlanta, Georgia, remain the largest outbound markets, but their dominance has waned significantly out there. The Dallas market was not a small market in 2019. Dallas is not the only market that has grown significantly. Phoenix demand is up approximately 60%. And currently originates over 2% of all tenders compared to 1.1 a year ago. While changes in the market do not necessarily mean a market has grown or deteriorated in terms of volume, it does mean that transportation networks have to adjust to meet the needs of shippers. Let me see here. Carrier networks are built on consistency and knowing. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just kind of jumping around here. The reason this is important, just wanted to bring that up, is that once capacity recedes to more balanced level with demand, trucking rates will go through their own rebalancing. This will mean some areas of the country will have lower rates while others will see increases. The areas have fallen out of balance will also be more. Okay. So what this is describing, this right here is basic freight 101, you guys. All right. This is like legitimately the most basic of basic information on how a freight market operates. Okay. So when it says trucking rates will go through their own rebalancing, this means that some areas of the country will have lower rates while others will see increases. That is why I have always told you guys a national average doesn't mean a fucking thing. Okay. Yes, it is important. All right. I will say that the national rate average is important to look at, but it is fucking irrelevant when you're trying to cover freight in certain markets on certain days of the week. And there's a bunch of different shit that goes on out there. Okay. So a lot of the data that you can see, you guys, and this is the problem with national averages and stuff, is contracted rates accepted by very large providers out there. Okay. That is significantly lower than the spot market and other areas, or, in balance with it, but it pulls down fucking averages. Okay. I've been out there, and if I use the national average to bid my freight, I'd been out of business in 6 fucking days, you guys. Like, shit can change at a rapid pace. And you can't use some of these data points as your only decision making, like when you're reading this article here, right? So I just want to bring that up to your guys' just to bring it up to your guys' attention for the umpteenth time, where some of the data out there, albeit extremely accurate at times, is not indicative of how the entire market will perform. And it goes on to say that capacity is exiting at a record pace as well. Many expect the market to be more balanced later this year. Shippers who have facilities in these emerging markets should be wary of changing pricing conditions. Service providers should be proactive in targeting these areas operationally. Dallas and Phoenix have always been big freight markets. And if you're out there trying to develop business, I'm going to save you guys a lot of fucking headache. Nobody needs help out of Dallas, Texas. All right? At all. Nobody's help with their Dallas facilities, their Phoenix facilities, their Atlanta, Georgia facilities, their main markets like that. You guys, nobody needs help there. All right? That's where all of the established relationships have been. And that's where their longest providers get access to the majority of their freight. Now, can you find business there? Of course you can. I'm not going to say that you can't, but I'm just saying to concentrate your efforts on power markets will lead you guys to a ton of headaches. Okay. Look at secondary freight markets. All right. Look at 50 miles outside of major metro areas and start developing business out there. All right. Again, take it for what it's worth. I'm actually calling on shippers every single day, and the feedback that I'm getting might be pretty in line with that. But what do I know? Anyways, you guys, that article was from FreightWaves. I don't know about you guys, but every time I hear the city Atlanta, Georgia, I always think about Ludacris and the old school 90s Atlanta rappers, Jermaine Dupri and everything else. And also the always classic Welcome to Atlanta where the players play. Is that just me? I don't know. I just absolutely love that song. Anyways, you guys, next article. And I brought this one up because I have said this a lot, you guys. A lot of the larger companies' success leaves clues, and how they're kind of reading things, albeit shouldn't be treated as the end all be all, but they got a lot more access to a lot more information than a lot of us do who are building our businesses up, right? So when I hear a company like Warner say that the end of the down cycle is getting closer, my interest peaks because Warner's fucking massive at the end of the day. This article is also from FreightWaves. And then Warner said Tuesday that the end of the down cycle appears to be getting closer, with the first quarter marked by inclement weather and insurance expenses in the rear view. It expects normal seasonal trends take fold for the rest of the year. It's almost like Warner listens to a certain live show every day because somebody else has been saying that for a while. Anyways, you guys, back to the article. They reported a first quarter net income of $6.3 million compared to $35 million in the same period of 2023. Expected items out there, normal operating activities, acquisition related costs, insurance, and so on. A decline in the used equipment values pushed gains on sales 80% lower year over year to just 4 cents per share, an 18-cent headwind out there. Unit sales of tractors were down 18%, but trailers sold increased 78%. Warner lowered its outlook for gains on equipment sales to the range of $10 to $20 million compared to the prior range that they had set of $10 to $30 million. And there's a nice little chart in there of their operating expenses and everything else. Total revenue from the truckload services declined 6%. Let me see here. I'm just skipping ahead. And then the company has identified 40 million in consolidated cost savings. The truckload operating ratio improved in each month out there as well. Warner's Logistics recorded $2.3 million operating loss in quarter one, 1.2 million on an adjusted basis. Revenue was also down 12% year over year to $203 million out there. Brokerage operating margins are expected to improve later in the year, given the cost savings initiatives. I think that that's again, this is just my opinion when I'm reading this. So a lot of you out there, you want to talk about rates being down and you want to talk about how it's tough to get in the door with certain shippers. When you look at Warner Logistics recording a $2.3 million operating loss, who's more able to because let me back this up a little bit. When I say how a lot of the larger providers, their RFP strategies in down markets is revenue over anything. So they'll go in there cheaper because they're just looking to conserve actual loads and revenue coming across, because when you're publicly traded, there's other different factors that are out there. When you look at Warner Logistics, and I'm not picking on Warner Logistics here, I want to be abundantly clear. When they're showing an operating loss out there, take that into consideration, right? They're more able to take losses on shipments. So their strategy, knowing where they predict the market trending this year, which, recovery, normal seasonal adjustments, their strategy early on in Q1, as well as other larger providers, is conserve volume and tenders and revenue. Will lose money and then eventually will gain all of that back, because it's just a game of fucking chess, right? They're waiting for the people who don't have the cash to back out and bow out of the markets and not operate at razor thin margins and everything else. That's what a lot of these people are waiting for. It's just a giant game of chicken at the end of the day, right? So it's smart to do that. And I would all but guarantee that at some point in time, when my balance sheet looks a lot healthier, you can make those decisions, right? Where it's like, hey, we can't decline these loads. Let's make 5% or 4%, or maybe we'll lose a little bit of money on some of these larger accounts, because we know eventually when it rebounds, we will make our money back in time. It's just calculated risk, right? Like, this stuff happens a lot. So take that into consideration. That's one point that I wanted to bring up. Again, I don't fault anybody for doing that. If I had the money to do that and the access to the accounts that a company like Warner does, I'd probably be doing the exact same thing, bleeding some cash in the first or second half, or like the first half of the year, probably in anticipation that a bunch of people are just going to fucking bow out and start rejecting those tenders and not doing it anymore, right? It's just a strategy to make you think a little bit differently about some of the information that you see out there. Again, this is just my opinion. I've seen this happen before, and that's kind of what you're seeing out there. Because again, I'm out there trying to cover freight just like everybody. And the fact that some of you motherfuckers are posting loads for 70 cents a mile is fucking laughable. But again, I know your strategy, and I know that eventually the customer's favor is going to wear very thin of your repeated service failures that are bound to happen here, as there is an actual rebalance in the market and capacity tightens up, because there's just not going to be a lot of access to trucks at some point this year. That's what happens here, right? So when these brokers are like, when's there going to be a recovery? I hate to fucking break it to you guys. It's not going to favor you brokers for probably up to the next 24 to 36 months potentially. All right. This will shift into a carrier's market. Then it will drop back into a shipper's market. Then it will become a broker's market in quite some time. All right. So if you don't know how to fucking operate, all right, and I've been telling you guys this for 6 months, so I'm not going to go on a rant about this. If you guys don't know how to fucking operate, all right, all the bullshit y'all are pulling right now is not going to fly. All right. And all the sales outreaches that me and my team are doing right now, it's going to sound pretty fucking good to some of these shippers here coming up if you guys are failing on freight by trying to railroad these drivers to try and pad your pockets. But that will be it for today, you guys. I don't have time to get into the third article here, but my friends over at JOC, I'm going to be having them come on here in a couple of weeks. Bill Cassidy put out an article last week as well about the freight recovery likely within a couple of months. It's a good article. I love the JOC. At the end of the day, Eric Johnson's a really good friend of mine, and Bill Cassidy's been on the show, and I'm a fan of them. So I would check them out. Yes, I pay for a subscription to them because it's fucking worth every dollar, in my opinion. We got some comments there. Jeff Berkson, morning, Chris. Well said, take care of the customer, or someone else will. Michael Cole, what is up? Luke Wright, good morning. Tracy St. Clair, good morning. John Radvansky says accurate does not always mean relevant. Robert, I did not see that Pride Group filed for bankruptcy. Was that just this morning? I haven't had a chance to be on there yet, man. But we'll be back tomorrow, you guys, 8 a.m. Central tomorrow morning. We're going to be going live with my good friend, Mike Mikulik from Nashville, Tennessee, ladies and gentlemen. Again, subscribe to the newsletter, freightcoach.com. Register for that. I appreciate you guys for all of your support. And if you got value in what you heard today, you guys, subscribe to the show. Do your boy a solid. Share it out there. That's how we grow, but this is how we can help more people, is because if you saw value, your network's going to see value as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.